You know who I am?
Anything you say. Anything you say.
It's official.
What's up, YouTube? This week there, of course, isn't really anything major going on. Of course, good old Greta Thunberg, or however you want to pronounce her name. She's making her rounds with the celebrities now. They're all taking pictures with her. You know, DiCaprio and of course Arnold. But anyways, that whole thing is just ridiculous. A form of child abuse. Anyways, I want to get on to the main topic that I want to discuss with you this week. Okay, so ghost hunters and Jason and his team, they created Ghost Nation, while Grant went to A&E and did Ghost Hunters. So they all started up new paranormal TV shows. Now, I've watched all the Ghost Hunter episodes of the new Ghost Hunter show, and so far, I think they're done with their season. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's been okay. I mean, there wasn't really anything truly spectacular about it. I still don't care for the Mustafa guy who does the history part of the thing. Everyone else is okay. The only reason why I even bothered to watch the show was because of Grant Wilson. Because I like Grant Wilson. But anyways, I still say there was some fallout between him and Jason, a big one. And they're just not talking about it. Anyways, the show was alright. It's not bad. They just, you know, they don't really catch anything all season. So, I mean, you know, a couple sounds, maybe an EVP here or there, if that, you know. But I think in the last episode, they supposedly caught a shadow person, you know, just a tiny glimpse of one, you know, running across the infrared camera, and something that looked like a head peeking out behind a pillar. Other than that, that's basically all they really caught. It was alright. But what I really want to talk to you about is the all-new Ghost Adventures show. Ooh, oh my god. I can't stand these idiots. Zach, Billy, Aaron, and Jay, they're just retards from another planet. And I can literally prove that their show is nothing but dramatized entertainment. It's scripted, it's BS, it's fake as hell. And I don't understand why people get into these guys so much, because they literally over dramatize and overact everything. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, they got a new show out called Ghost Adventures Serial Killer Spirits. Now the show started in 2008. And of course, Ghost Hunters started up again. So naturally, you know, you gotta bring back the Ghost Adventure guys. These idiot morons who pretend to be paranormal investigators when they're not. I'm going to show you a little bit of the very first episode they had, just a few clips, and let you see what I'm talking about. Now, I'll give you some comments on it. But before I get to that, just understand that there are several articles out there that prove that they are a fake show. They're retards, they're idiots, and anyone who actually likes this show, who likes these guys, you gotta have some screws loose in your head. I mean, you really gotta be mental to like these guys. And I'm gonna, there's some those articles, I'll leave the links in the boxes below that literally show that they're fake. Even Aaron from the show, Aaron, I can't think of his last name, but he did a whole interview where he talked about how the show was all fake and how it was scripted and everything. And there's people that's came out about the show that literally, that they've gone and filmed or whatever. It's literally said, yeah, they staged everything, they blah blah blah. But I'm going to leave some articles that you can look up yourself to show you that this show is completely fake and it's retard. They're idiots. And I don't know why they got fans, because they're dumber than a box of rocks. You know, the only reason this show started was because Ghost Hunters started way before them. And they thought, well, we'll make our own freaking little ghost show, you know, whatever. They're idiots. They're dumb. Anyways, let's get into watching these video clips, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, before we get into this series of small clips of the show, let me explain to you a little bit what it's about. Basically, they go to these past residences of, you know, former serial killers. They do one on John Wayne Gacy and a couple others. This one is the very first one they did, was done on John Holmes, who was considered the first known serial killer or recorded serial killer of the United States. And they go to a house that he supposedly resided in for a short period of time. Now, you're going to see right off the bat, the first person they go interview is the homeowner. And she's looks like a nutbag, because she's dressed like a little girl, and he explains that she likes to live her life like a little child. And it was just weird. It's really weird. And then the second person he talks to, Zach talks to this next guy's interviews, and he's a ghost tour guide. You know, he does ghost tours around the area. I mean, come on, give me a break. And then they go on, and I have a few scenes where it shows them doing their investigation, and you're going to notice that Zach does a lot of goofy shit, and then Aaron's twice as worse, and then Billy has a scene where he's you know, acting like he's getting choked or coughed, and then 5 minutes later he's right back with them. It's ridiculous, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's all staged, it's all fake. It's just over drama, over acting by these guys, and it's really ridiculous. And I'm about to show you some clips from the first show, or first episode. You'll see what I'm talking about.
The Starbright, who finds comfort
see,
in
this
a
is that
childlike
woman.
lifestyle, has lived
Or
here for 5
homeowner.
years.
Is it true that you think that there is...
Yeah.
Do you think that
Look
you're
at that.
vulnerable
Come on.
for something?
She's dressed like a little kid, and her whole
very
house
vulnerable.
is like
Alan
that.
Hunter
It's
runs the
ridiculous.
Irvington Ghost Tours.
And then here's the guy who does ghost
Using a
tours.
device
Oh,
that
you
is
know how I
only
feel
found in
about
any
Ouija
toy store.
boards.
I started
Ouija
using
boards,
a Ouija board.
Ouija
So he
boards
takes
have been
Cindy, a psychic
debunked. They're
medium,
wrong.
Down
They're,
to the basement to see
they
what she
don't
can
work.
sense.
It's fake.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
There's videos on it.
This is the first time you've been downstairs.
And then here's,
First
in the
time I've been
basement.
downstairs.
see,
in the
now they're
basement,
showing
What are you sensing anything at
a
all?
psychic medium. I don't believe
Well,
in
Howard's in the
psychics
house, I'll tell
at
you
all.
That's the boy.
yes. Yeah, the little boy.
They've never proven that there's such things as
And he swallowed us
psychics.
down. Because
But I'm having trouble breathing already.
And then here's the,
It's
Very dizzy.
really
they
heavy
bring in
with
this
it
guy
in
who
the
used to be,
No,
he's a
other than
relative
The reason I was just moving there was I was
of
having
John
to
H.
hold on for
Holmes.
my balance. It was rough. I was gonna fall if I hadn't grabbed it
Hey.
onto the bed here.
yeah, he's all like, oh, I was feeling weird.
and feel this. I just got
You know, I hate that shit.
I just got something freezing.
Now here supposedly Zach loses it.
It's giving me. I know. I was getting like. It's giving me rage.
And he said,
Hypnotic
oh,
begins
the
asking
ghost
questions.
is making me rage. Come on. Fucking stupid.
Inside.
The Obulus.
I just typed in "Hi Howard."
I don't believe the Obulus
That's
is
the
a good
first thing it
tool
said, is
because
beside.
it's basically a set of words that's in a computer that
Question,
automatically,
receive this
supposedly,
Who's
the spirit can manipulate and make it say shit,
Weird. I
but
didn't even ask a question on
it's
this.
just
I did out loud.
a set of words that's randomly produced, so it's a bogus
There's
tool.
no question.
You shouldn't use it at all.
7 girls.
When
What's happening?
Now here's where Billy supposedly is getting choked.
Wait.
What is happening to Billy? Billy? Cough? What are the odds in that?
There's not.
See, let's give me a
What are the
break.
odds in that?
It's impossible.
as
Yeah,
I try to
they-
review what just happened to Billy, he
Stupid
suddenly
shit.
has to leave.
Billy
the
is
room.
an idiot too, but he's not as ridiculous as the other two.
What is...
He's been feeling.
Honestly, I
See, he comes right back, right back.
zoned out because I felt like my esophagus was just being closed in.
Whoa! Did you just hiss?
No.
This I cannot stand to hear him with the shit.
Oh my god, bro.
This guy is a fucking
Aaron
total
receives
idiot.
this unexplained voice. He drops to the ground and says he's
I
blacking
mean, just
out.
see how over dramatic this idiot is. Oh, I can't take it. There's a voice on the recorder. I gotta leave.
Oh my god.
What's wrong, dude? You alright?
No, I fell down the stairs.
This
Oh
guy,
god.
What happened?
fucking dumbass.
Okay.
No. Oh, I can't breathe.
Was it choking you?
No. Oh god, emotions.
What's wrong?
Ooh.
Slow, deep breaths.
See how he's overacting everything.
Rack. It's like,
He's a horrible actor. Terrible. Both him and Zach are both horrible
And all of a
actors.
sudden, like, that thing just started going crazy. That's going on!
You're an idiot,
It
dude.
just started going crazy. Lights. I couldn't catch my breath, and I literally, I thought I was out. I thought I was passing out. And then something inside was just like, okay, stand up, stand up. And I was trying to get grip. There's no grip. And then finally, I kind of like came to, and I just saw this guy standing there, dude. Jesus, standing there.
Oh, I just saw him
dropped
standing there.
And it almost looked like.
It was so
It looked like half
freaky.
of his hat was there and the rest wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it was a half a hat. It was just standing right in front of me. I just dropped everything and ran. Then I fell down the stairs because I didn't even know.
Because you were a
And then
dumbass.
on the other side, it was like there, but the side of his body was kind of transparent, but it was just so like, like he was looking right
totally.
at me. Like, I swear to God, we might have had a conversation.
Yeah, he swears to God.
As Aaron describes this evil half-faced
fucking
man, we make a
idiot,
shocking
man.
and disturbing discovery.
Is this really what you guys really fucking like? Is these fucking idiots? You guys really get into anybody who gets into that kind of shit? You got some screws loose in the head, because it's all a bunch of BS. It's bullshit. And you got, oh my God. I've heard some of the, the Ghost Adventures fans, they throw a fit about ghost hunters and try to claim that they're bogus and blah, 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 blah. You don't see that kind of shit on ghost hunters. Not this overreacting or overacting crap. That's a bunch of bullshit. You don't see that crap on ghost hunters. Most of them are fairly calm, and they usually run towards the source. They don't run away. I'm not going to say that ghost hunters, when they first started out, they had a couple of idiots on the show, but they got rid of them. But this is fucking moronic. And yes, it is scripted, all of it. It's fake. So deal with the facts and get over it. If you're a Ghost Adventure fan, I'm sorry, but your shit's bogus, or their shit is bogus. Sorry, you can't. Oh man, some people are just really mental, and just. I'm sorry, Ghost Adventures is retarded, and I literally just proved why. And there's links in the bottom to prove that it's all fake. So sorry, Ghost Hunter fan or Ghost Adventure fans. It's all fake. All right. All right. Let's move on to your B movie reviews. All right, movieaholics. Let's get on to your B movie reviews. This week was Fantasy Week. We did Horror Week last week, so now we're back to Fantasy. I did some, I guess you could call them like biblical fantasy about, like angels or heaven or whatever. The first one I did was called Oh God, and it was done in 1977. Now it had a couple of sequels, Oh God Book 2 and Oh God You Devil, which were both done in the 80s. And I guess I'll try to get to them next time. But just for this one, I did Oh God first. It was done in 1977, and it starred John Denver, George Burns, which was absolutely a hilarious comic back in the day, and Terry Garr was the female lead. It made roughly about $42 million, so it didn't do too bad for back then. The story is God comes down and he picks this grocery store manager to deliver a message to humanity. So he wants him to go to the papers and try to convince them to write about it or put out his message, and then he wants him to go to go on TV and do the same thing. Well, he ends up having to go to court over it because he humiliates this pastor or whatever, kind of like TV evangelist is what he was. Anyway, he humiliates him on live TV. So he goes to court because the pastor wants to take him to court and sue him for slander. When God shows up and tells him everything he told him was what he told him to tell him. So, it was God who was actually slandering him or whatever. Anyways, they threw out the case or whatever, because apparently they couldn't prove that God was really there because the recording devices didn't record him or anything, and yada yada yada. It was a really good movie. It was pretty good. Of course, you know, he had to leave town and with his family and move somewhere else at the end, but it was a good movie for what it was. You know, it had some funny parts in it. It wasn't like extremely funny, but it did have a couple of funny parts in it. You know, George Burns, you know, he's hilarious. 2 thumbs up. Good movie, good movie. Check it out. The next one is called Heaven Can Wait, and it was done in 1978. It starred Warren Beatty, Julia Christie, which Warren Beatty and Julia Christie kind of had a thing for a while, for several years, kind of an affair thing, and it didn't pan out into anything. So it also had Charles Grodin on there, and let me tell you, Charles Grodin, oh my God, he makes this movie. It's just fucking hilarious. He is hilarious. He's a good comedian. Back in the day, he was just hilarious. The movie made about $82 million, which was really, really good. So it did quite a good job. And these movies aren't necessarily B-rated. They're more like classics than B-rated. But anyways, Heaven Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait is about a guy who, he's a football player, he's a quarterback, and he an initiate into the heaven program or whatever, thinks he's going to die at a certain time. So he takes his spirit out of his body just before a supposed wreck happens. Well, according to heaven, he actually wasn't supposed to do that. He jumped the gun, and he would have lived through the wreck. But the body gets cremated, so now they got to find him a new body. So temporarily, he goes in. They put him in a body of like a billionaire or a really wealthy person. Anyway, they put him in the body of a businessman who's like a billionaire, and he meets this woman who he falls in love with, which is Julia Christie, and he tries to help her out. While the wife and Charles Grodin, which is like his right-hand man or whatever, they're trying to kill him. They actually killed the guy's body he's in. But it freaked him out because he should have been poisoned and died. So they're all freaking out. They try to kill him several times. They can't do it. And he keeps coming back. It just pisses them off because they're freaking out. They don't understand why he's not dying. Towards the end, you know, they finally shoot him. And he finally dies. And then the heaven guys that work for heaven, they put him back into a different body of an athlete, another quarterback, which is obviously is from the same team he was on, the Rams. He was on the Rams team to begin with. Now he's in another quarterback, which was with the Rams as well. But they erased his memory. He doesn't remember anything. And then towards the end, you know, he had mentioned something while he was in the millionaire's body to Julia Christie's character, that, you know, if he if she ever met another quarterback who she could look into his eyes and tell that it was somebody else, and you know, kind of like the far off stranger thing, you know. But anyways, if she should ever meet another quarterback that you know, in his eyes it reminds her of him, then give him a chance, or blah blah blah, you know, let him take you out or whatever. Well, at the end she comes to the stadium to look for somebody else, but meets him in his new body, and he doesn't know who she is, but he asks her out anyway for a cup of coffee, and she's all like, there's something strange about you, you know. So they go off together, and that's the end of the movie. It was a really good movie, but like I said, Charles Grodin, he makes this movie fucking hilarious. Just 2 thumbs up. This is a really good movie. I laughed my ass off on several parts. Anyways, definitely check out Heaven Can Wait for sure. Anyways, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. I thank you for watching. You know what to do, you know, yada yada, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, all that BS. Anyways, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.